Welcome to Cars and Coffee in the Model Room. Happy Sunday. No, I don't usually do Cars and Coffee, but I did it today because I got this mug. And it's kind of a logo mug. This is sort of the first AI art I ever did for the channel. I enjoy doing that. And I have this image on a t-shirt that my daughter gave me for Christmas. So I guess it's kind of representative of the channel for me. And I just thought it'd be neat to have a mug. Because I thought I would do an episode of Cars and Coffee. So here we are. The car itself is kind of a special one to me. It's the very first car that I completed and brought to the Tri-State Scale Model Car Club when I joined it back, I think it was 91, when I returned to modeling as an adult. And it was inspired by a cover car that was done by Augie Hiscano way back in the day. This was before I ever met him. And I thought it was just such a neat street rod. I wanted to do one along those lines. This is obviously not exactly like it, but it's sort of like it. So I started putting it together, did some things that I had not done for the first time that I think came out okay. This particular model now is over 30 years old. I've dusted it off as best I could, but I didn't give it a deep cleaning, so you're going to see a little bit of smudges and things like that on it. But for the most part, I think it looks okay. This is the Monogram 32 Ford Roadster, and went together very nicely. Some good things and some bad things on this. One of the things I really wanted to do, and I don't know where I got the idea, I wanted to put skirts on it. So I just cobbled those skirts up out of sheet styrene, and frankly, I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of heavy in the back, a little less in the front, but I think altogether, it's a cohesive look. Another thing I did was I chopped the top and the windshield. I'd never chopped a top or a windshield before, and by the grace of God, it worked. It came out fine, and I think that looks good as well. One of the things that I did that was probably not such a good idea was to hang the headlights on the front frame rails. I can imagine if you ever drove down the street at night, the light would be bouncing all over the place. It's a unique look. I don't think it looks bad particularly, but it is a little different. Altogether, this was one of my first paint jobs. It's not perfect, but it came out fairly smooth, and I'm thinking that's probably Testors, some kind of Testors red. I don't remember exactly. The wheels came from another kit. They're not detailed at all. They're not, 3D. They didn't have them then or anything like that. I just put them on, and they are on street tires. So that's the look. I can tell you that here in front, I did put some black wash in it. That was with enamel paint that I had thinned down quite a lot. And listen, I thought that myself. I had never read about doing that. I didn't have any wash from a manufacturer or anything like that, so I just gave it a shot. I think it's kind of worn down a little bit, but you can still kind of see it. In back, I put on some aftermarket tailpipes and just the kit taillights. You can see the back of the roof. It was chopped on the bottom, but frankly, I think it looks cohesive, and it's fine with me. It gives it a pretty good look. Okay, here's the dash area, and I'm sorry to freehand this shot, but my desk mount wasn't going to let me get in close enough for the macro lens to work, so I'm going to try and hold it by hand. Here's a pretty standard wheel. I drilled out the spokes. The shifter is, I think, a kit part. I painted the shift knob a body color. And then here on the gauges, that's a photo etch gauge panel. Come on, come in focus. And I had some photo etch trim rings. I painted them body color, and I put them around the gauges. And yeah, that dashboard's looking a little worse for the wear, but hey, it's 30 years old. Now, for the interior, I wanted to upholster the seats. I did that by cutting the centers out and then putting the cloth on with white glue and inserting them back in from behind so that they had a tucked in look. I had in the back of my mind a conversation I'd had with a modeler who upholstered a model, and he said he liked the product he used because it looked very much in scale. So I wanted something that would be in scale for this car, And that meant something with a very small weave. And it turns out, well, at that time, my daughters were very young. They were playing with Barbie dolls. And I found a pair of, believe it or not, Ken's pants. And I thought, boy, this weave is right in scale. This looks good. So I got permission from them to purloin those pants and cut it up, use it for the seats here. And I think it worked out well. And it's held up very well over the years. The engine was taken from, I think it was an AMT 67 Shelby Mustang. And the interesting thing about that is that that's a 1/25th scale engine, and this is a 1/24 scale monogram kit. But, you know, for people to tell you, oh yeah, you can tell the difference, I don't think so. I think it looks fine in here, and no one has ever said the engine looked undersized to me. I put some wiring in it. I don't know if I'd ever done wiring prior to this, but in any case, it went on fine. And I got those air cleaners from a hobby shop in Avenel, New Jersey, called Avenel Hobbies. You might know it as Kit Bash Corner. They advertised for many years in Scale Auto Enthusiast magazine. And what they would do, Randy, who owned the place, would, you know, if you wanted parts, would open up a kit, pull parts out, and send them to you, and, you know, charge you accordingly. But it was a good source for parts if you didn't want to buy a whole kit. They're out of business now, as are so many hobby shops. In any case, when I was there that day, I saw these air cleaners. I think these are parts by Parks, and they didn't have any air filter on them. And I said, do you have that air filter? He said, no, somebody wanted the paper, so I sold them or gave them the paper or whatever. He says, you know, I'll let you have these for $5, which at that time was a decent price, would be very good nowadays. So I brought them home and I needed filters, and I thought, well, I'll try paper or something. And then I put paper in them, it didn't look realistic. So the filters on the air cleaners are made from toilet paper. Believe it or not. They've actually also held up real good over the years. And, you know, I'm pleased with them. I did make an attempt at putting linkage in. This is photo etch linkage. I believe it is Detail Master. Of course, all I did was glue it on. I didn't really attach it properly. So that was a big boo-boo on this, which I should really fix. You know, you shouldn't just let it stay like that. At one time, it had a cable that went down to the throttle. I guess that's gone. I don't know what happened to it. Other than that, I should have put some headers on it probably, but at the time, I didn't have other headers, so I just used the stock exhaust, which, you know, for a high performance engine, this is the exhaust that came with it. I think that's still decent. Looks okay. Well, that's it for Cars and Coffee. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.